be out there at the stadium early on Sunday morning in the rain. Forecast right now is looking pretty rough for the whole day. Just wondering how you've covered that with the team, as you dot every I, cross every T, how that impacts the preparation even this week and game plan.
Yeah, so we talk about it, and we've kept them abreast of the weather forecast, which we always do before games, so they could just get out and test their shoes out and so on. So we practiced enough in the rain and played in the rain this year, so I think we're okay there.
Go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, there are a lot of milestones that can be achieved here. I think it's the 8th franchise to go back-to-back. You'd be only the 10th franchise to win 3 Super Bowls. You've talked about your time yesterday of when you met Lamar for the first time. I'm just curious, do you ever have a moment where you think about the history or maybe people come up to you and tell you all the history that you guys are in the middle of right now?
Yeah, I'm aware of it because of the media, Sarin. But I'm old, so I've heard it before and seen it with my own eyes. So it's a neat deal. But when you're in the middle of it, I don't think you appreciate it as much. Maybe when you're done with the whole thing and you look back on it and you can appreciate it more. But we're just scrambling from one drill to another drill to a meeting to another meeting and making sure we get the media obligations taken care of and so on. So it's before you know it's the nighttime and it's time to go to bed.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hello, Andy from 12 minutes away from Arrowhead. How you doing?
All right, Harold. I'm good. Thank you.
Hey, quick question for you. I want you to kind of think back. I asked you before the season when you were talking to Patrick Mahomes during stretch, and I asked you about what you guys talked about now. What are those conversations with him like now as he goes into this second Super Bowl? And do you feel that he kind of has a semblance of idea of, legacy, and because that's been the big term this week, legacy and dynasty, and all those words have been thrown out there. You feel he gets a big sense of that, or is he just all about the moment?
Yeah, listen, I probably say the same thing I just said to Sarin, that it's I'm not sure how much you get caught up in that part of it as much as you do making sure that you have all the T's crossed and I's dotted. So that's where you're at. And if you get an extra minute, you watch a little bit more film, and then you make sure you're getting enough rest and eating the right things and so on. So your mind is on things that are going to directly affect the game at this time, and you want to try to maximize that, and that's what he does. So I don't think he's probably thinking too much about the other part. I'm sure he loves the challenge of playing against Tampa Bay. They're a good football team, and Tom Brady's a friend of his. So I think that and somebody he looks up to. So I think that's kind of a neat deal for him. But I think when you really get down to what he's thinking about, and that's just making sure he's got the game plan down and ready to go.
Let's go next to Diana Rossini. Go ahead, Diana.
All right. Well, this is it. I hope you're sick of us. I think you are, but thank you so much for being so great this week with us.
I know.
So much this week we've been asking you about the difference between this year and last year because of COVID, but familiarity is such a great advantage because you guys have done this. Have you sensed a different feeling from your guys, from your staff, from everyone who's been there with you before compared to last year when everything was new?
Yeah, it's a little bit different with the COVID part of it, but when you look at the itinerary for game day and go through that with the guys, and whether it's with the coaches and then the coaches and the players, it's relatively the same. So, and that's probably the toughest part about doing this whole process, is just trying to stay on schedule with what you've got to get done, and how are you going to manage that time at halftime? How are you going to manage the time before the game? When you come back out on the field, there's an extended period of time. How do you manage that? So, but the guys have already been through that before. We made sure we're covering it now, just to refresh them, and for the new guys, it would be something new. But that part I would tell you isn't much different.
Go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, two quick things for you. Just was the practice today the same as attendance as yesterday? That's my first one.
Injury-wise, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Same exact deal. Yeah.
Got you. Thank you. And then secondly, what's been the most enjoyable part for you, Andy, to see the guys who didn't play in this game last year help the team push to make it back so that they could have their opportunities? Guys, whether they're rookies or guys like Andrew Wiley, Alex Okafor, Juan Thornhill, what's it been like to see?
Yeah, D. Williams came down to the game and hung out of practice. I mean, it was so he sat through the heat there of the practices we had and watched, and he was there every day. And so I think that's it's a neat deal for all those guys. And they've really, they've made a point of talking to people about it. They've also made a point of working hard so that they have an opportunity to show in this game.
Go next to Nancy Armour. Go ahead, Nancy.
Hey, Andy. Can you just describe the evolution maybe of Travis, both personally and professionally, and think back to, when you drafted him? I know you had the conversation with him and Jason just about your expectations. Has he met those or exceeded them, what you were kind of hoping when you guys drafted him?
Yeah, well, that was just more about how we roll with things and where he'd need to kind of get to stay with it. And so I would tell you that, he's matched it and exceeded that part. Football wise, you never know what you're going to get really until you have them there and they're doing it. So I tell you, he's greatly exceeded that, and he's trying to get better than what he is. So, which I appreciate. Yeah.
Next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, I'm stealing your words here, but you said I'm old, and most of my old head football coaches, when they get down right in the red zone, they're just going to run the ball. They're going to hand it off to their running back. But you guys, you're doing the shovel passes, the Ferrari package. Where does that evolution come from? Was there a point in time this season where you said we're just going to lean in on our talent and getting weird here?
Yeah, I mean, we try to have fun with it the best we can, and everybody contributes. I've got some really good coaches, assistant coaches. You guys know that. I've got players that have chipped in on plays, and they have a blast with it. And so I've always encouraged that throughout my career, and I don't want to stop because I'm old. I want to keep that going, try to do it a little bit better. And so that's what we do. We try to stay creative and try to have some fun with it. We don't really have much in this week, but that's all right.
We'll go next to Mark Potash. Go ahead, Mark.
Hi, Andy. Excuse me. Coaching aggressiveness has been rewarded in these playoffs for a lot of teams, but especially for you. And I'm curious, how have you developed that feel over the years for when to be aggressive, when to play it safe, if there is such a thing as a feel? And is it any greater? Is that feel any greater now as a more experienced coach than when you were less experienced as a head coach?
Yeah, well, listen, I think with experience, you probably have a better feel for it. I just think naturally, I think you'd have a better feel for it. So I'd tell you yes on that. And then you got to make decisions. I mean, that's the seat that I sit in. And so if I feel like we need to stay aggressive, then that's where we go. And we try to do that all the way around on both sides of the ball. Spags does it, EB does it, Tove does it within reason, and all those guys are experienced guys, and they kind of we talk about it. It just kind of fits in with all our thinking.
Go next to Len Jennings. Go ahead, Len.
Hey, Coach. I'm just curious how what your Saturday plans look like, and how does it compare to the Saturday before last year's Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. We just won't be there the whole day. We'll come down in the afternoon and we'll go through our normal procedure that we do on a road game. I mean, that's kind of the card that you're dealt here. So, and that's okay. We're good with that. We know that routine. We'll stick with it, and then we'll get ready for the game the same way. that we do for an evening game, and nothing, that part won't change either. So we'll at least be familiar with that part. Yes.
Let's go next to Matt Tanner. Go ahead, Matt.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Matt.
I just wanted to ask you about Steve Spagnuolo. How important is he to the team's success, and has he made you reconsider any of your coaching philosophies?
Yeah, well, Steve's excellent. I think we know that. He was a head coach in this league, rightly so, and we'll probably get another shot at it here too, to do it again. So in the next few years. So he's got a great feel for the game, and yeah, we bounce things off of each other all the time. I mean, that's important. His experience is very valuable to really the whole offensive staff. And we all love talking football, so it's easy. It's easy conversation.
Let's go next to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Andy, how are you doing?
Good, Steve.
Hey, I talked to a couple of your former players this week, and they both said the same thing. You are a player's coach, and guys will run through a wall for you. Do you feel that at all, or are you just kind of like in the moment?
Well, listen, I mean, I've been fortunate to have some really good guys, and that just love to play. I mean, that's a part I appreciate the most about these guys is, yeah, they're gifted, they work hard, they do all that, but the love of the game is something I appreciate. And so it's not hard to treat guys good when you have those kind of players that want to do that. I've been fortunate with the GMs that I've been with that have fed those kind of players into the program. So from a coaching standpoint, I enjoy coming to work every day. I love working with these guys. And I felt that same way when I was in Philadelphia. We just had good human beings that love to play. And I'm not even talking about talent, the talent aside. But you guys love playing the game.
Let's go next to Jeff Fedotin. Go ahead, Jeff.
Speaking of those former Eagles players, this week Terrell Owens was saying how much he's going to be rooting for you and the Chiefs. I know it ended turbulently with him, but what are your feelings about Terrell?
Yeah, so I like Terrell, and he's a competitive kid. He and Donovan had something really special, and wherever it is today, it is. But I mean, that was a special connection. I saw it when they were playing in the Pro Bowls. There was something. They just needed to look at each other, and they had this connection, and they carried that over to just have a fantastic year in Philadelphia the year that we went to the Super Bowl. So I try to remember the good times. There were so many good times, and I focus on that. Things happen in this business, man, and I'm not a grudge holder. I've never been that way. And I've talked with them, and I'm close with Donovan. I'm close with him, and my wish would be that those two just bring it back together.
Got time for one more. We'll go last to Rob Collins. Go, Rob.
Hey, Coach. Happy to report that it's 62 degrees and sunny in Tampa, so you have that to look forward to when you get here.
Great. Good. Yep.
Bruce Arians this morning was talking about sticking to a routine and how critical it was during the Super Bowl, and obviously they're here and they're home, and you guys are back in Kansas City. I'm just wondering if you deviated at all from what you did last year, and how different is it for you guys?
Well, it's a bit different just because of the media setup. We were the home team, and we had the choice of when we could use the media and that. And so this is a bit different, just time-wise, but it actually fits right in with our normal schedule. So it hasn't been a big disruption at all.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Let me just say one thing. My heart goes out to the Schottenheimer family. Marty and I were close, and what a great person. He was great to me as a young football coach, and nobody did it better than he did. And I'm hoping we can mend him. But most of all, his family, they're staying strong. And I had a chance to talk to Brian last night, and I appreciated the conversation there. So, and my heart goes out to them. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, what's up, Travis?
How we doing?
Good. I wanted to ask you a question about Pat. In the offseason, obviously, he interjected his voice into the social justice cause, and you were very supportive of that. I'm wondering if you can look back on that from then till now. How do you think that if it all changed, how he's viewed in the city in light of that context and just, by fans and Chiefs fans?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's something that's very real. It's something that's still happening to this day, and the social justice issues have to be approached in the correct way. And I think that Kansas City has done an unbelievable job of coming together and really being a family, being a community that supports each other. I know there's a lot of Black Lives murals on the streets all over the town. And I think Mayor Lucas has done an unbelievable job in supporting the community in that regard and making sure that it's very well known that, we lock arms and we stand together about these issues.
Thanks, Travis.
Let's go next to Jayla Jones. Go ahead, Jayla.
Hi, Travis. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
So going back to back is difficult, to say the least, especially when you're going against a player as decorated as Tom Brady, and for you specifically going head to head with Gronk. So would you say you felt any type of pressure as we inch closer to Sunday? And if so, what are you and the team doing to stay focused and grounded as you gear up for the big stage a second time?
Well, I mean, when you're going up against a great quarterback like Tom Brady is, and how legendary he's been in games like this, you just have to be able to control what you can control, and that's what we do on the offensive side of the ball. We preach, situational football, taking care of the football, winning the turnover battle. Things like that are things that we can control as an offense. And you know what, going up against a high-powered offense like that, that's the key, is you just got to make sure you're putting up 6 points, more than you're putting up 3. And but at the end of the day, putting points on the board so that, you give yourself a chance in the fourth quarter.
We'll go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Travis. You guys have been a really good road team since you've been here. And even in the last couple of years, your record has been better on the road than at home. Given that this is like a road game, I wanted to ask you, why have you guys been so good? Is something you can put your finger on? Why you guys been able to kind of eliminate those distractions that seem to get other teams on the road?
Man, I wish I could put my finger on it. I think the level of focus, determination kind of goes up when you're going into somebody else's house. Just little stuff like that. I do feel like sometimes when we play at home, we can feel more relaxed, more at ease because we're in our environment. But at the same time, man, it's everybody's going to be geared up, fired up, and ready to go for this one. It doesn't matter if it was a home or away game. I think both sides, that is, both teams are going to be locked in, doing everything they can to win the football game.
Let's go next to Karen Kornacki. Go ahead, Karen.
Hey, Travis, good to see you. Can you hear me okay?
Just barely.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I can turn this up a little bit. No, I can't turn it up anymore. How about if I talk louder? Can you hear me now?
Now I can.
Okay, great. Hey, Travis, you guys had that really cool play at the end of the first quarter in the Super Bowl, a 4th and 1, and it was the little shuffle that got the first down before you guys scored. And I remember hearing Patrick say later, oh, he was so excited for that play because you guys had worked on it, and never used it. You reserved it for the Super Bowl. When you guys have a play that is called on the big stage like that, does that get the adrenaline going? Are you guys so excited because you worked on it so much, it's been saved, and the opposing team has never seen it before?
Yeah, I think those plays, give you a little bit more excitement. I mean, the fun ones that the defense is gonna, not be ready for. I think the play you're talking about, Pasadena, or no, I forget which one it was. I think it was Rose Bowl parade. I think that play in general, I think we were all excited to finally get called and ran, just because of how much we had been working on it week in, week out, and had it in the game plan all year, and finally used it on 4th and 1 down on the goal line. I think it's just, getting excited for every single play call that comes in, especially when you're down in the red zone. You got to have that kind of mentality in a game like this, because you never know when 3 points, a field goal and a touchdown, the end of a drive, whether you get the field goal or whether you get the touchdown, is going to be the deciding factor in the game. So you want to get excited and put up as many touchdowns as you can.
We'll go next to Diana Rossini. Go ahead, Diana.
Hey, Travis, you know your coach. I'm sure you know this, but he's got the best record in the Super Bowl era with 2 weeks to prepare for a game. So you give him more time, and I guess just keep getting better. So what is he like in terms of preparation for obviously the biggest game of the year?
I think what he does the best of as a leader, as a coach, is he challenges the guys to meet expectation. And the past 2 weeks, we've had the full game plan in for the past 2 weeks, and we've been able to, get after it in practice. The fact that we can trust him, make sure he's very aware it's week 20, week 21, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of guys are banged up, but at the end of the day, we have to get our work in. So it's a little bit of trust between both sides, and making sure that he's going to keep us fresh. But I think just going into a bye week before the actual game, Coach Reid does a great job of just challenging us to make sure that we don't miss a day, we don't miss a snap, we don't miss a rep. And sure enough, I think we're as ready as we've ever been this week.
Let's go next to Brad Simcox. Go ahead, Brad.
Hey there, Travis. Greetings from the UK, and congratulations on reaching the Super Bowl again. Some of the great touchdown celebrations we've seen from the Chiefs over the years have been a team effort, such as the sack race, Tyreek's pit stop, etc. Have you had a chance during practice to work on a group touchdown celebration? If so, any hints on the theme or what you're planning to do to celebrate touchdowns this Sunday?
I'll tell you what, I think when the league finally let us a couple years ago celebrate together, we had about 10 of them going into every single game, and you saw all of those. I don't know if we're burnt out and we don't have any more creativity, but we're more focused on just getting in the end zone and celebrating with our teammates. Nothing's choreographed or nothing's premeditated. It's all just kind of being in the flow of the game and enjoying it with our brothers.
We'll go next to Harold Coons. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Travis, and hello from 12 minutes away from Arrowhead. Hope you're doing all right.
Right on.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to ask you, I know the words legacy and dynasty have been kind of thrown around all this week. I just wonder what you guys have talked about internally within your conversations with coaches and teammates about just what it would mean to go back to back for you guys and to be one of those few teams in football history to finally achieve that goal for you guys.
Worry about that feeling if we get the opportunity to, actually win this game. I think it's right now I'm just focused on the now. I'm not really focused on the history or the future, the past or the future. I think it's really just a mentality of taking advantage of the hour, the minute, and the day, the hour, the rep, whatever we're doing in this building to get ready for Sunday. I think that's the main focus. Nobody's really thinking about the legacy or what it would mean. Everybody's just fired up to get out there on Sunday and do our best.
We'll go next to Sarin Petrov. Go ahead, Sarin.
Travis, last game, you guys had such great success going long to Tyreek Hill. You and he work so well together. You kind of the mid route, him over the top. Is there kind of a sense that, do you feel like the game plan shifts for them, that they're not going to want to see the exact same game run back on them, and so maybe this is the game that you're going to find yourself with more of the single coverage that Tyreek found?
I think what Bowles does, the defensive coordinator for the Bucs, I think what he does a great job of is mixing up the coverages. And hats off to the defense, the men that they have over there on the defensive side of the ball for being able to understand the intentions of the play caller, because they do understand the defense, knowing the variety of coverages that Bowles can dial up. And I think that, going into this game, you just got to be prepared for everything, and build those instincts accordingly. Everything that's on film has been worked on, and hopefully that we found an answer for everything that they think they have an answer for. So it's just going out there and playing ball.
We'll go next to Joshua Allen.
Hey, Travis, how we doing?
Living the dream.
I bet. So studying the film, what problems does a guy like Devin White present to you in coverage with his size, speed, and athleticism?
I mean, the guy flies around. He's a madman back there, and he's a very smart player. He understands the offensive line, the flow of the offensive line. And on top of that, he knows how to, play the passing windows and in zone coverages. And then he's a great tackler. So what else you want out of a linebacker? I mean, he does it all really well, and it's going to be definitely a big challenge going up against him.
We'll go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Trav, we know NFL Films is all over the Super Bowl, and you had one of the more touching moments last year when your dad embraced you after and said, you never really got the credit that you deserved. After finishing second in the league in receiving, just how does he feel about that now? What did that mean to you, and what will he be doing for this repeat try?
He'll be in attendance. I know Papa Kelce will be there, living it up, and I'll try and go out there and get him a third Super Bowl, meaning he already has one with myself and my brother from Philly. So we're going to go and try and get him a third one. But I think he's definitely told me how proud he is of me. And that's all that really matters to me. I could care less what else everyone else says, whether I'm, the best tight end, the best, whether I'm a tight end, a wide out, one of the best tight ends, or whatever the conversation is. As long as my family, the people that I grew up with, everyone back home in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, as long as all of them are proud of me, what else can I ask for?
We'll go next to Arnie Stapleton.
Hey, Travis, J.C. Treaders wrote a couple of weeks ago that, the COVID-19 season kind of proved that you guys don't really need that 24/7 off season that you guys have had, for the last so many years. And he was actually advocating just getting rid of the preseason and the OTAs altogether. I'm wondering what you would like to see an off season look like going forward, given that, some of the younger guys or guys with new teams do need that rhythm and that time together. What would you think would be a good kind of a happy medium going forward?
Well, me personally, I've always been a guy where I need the reps. I'm a big I'm out there every day at practice, working my tail off. I need all the reps that I can get so I can, be ready for every single look out there on the field. And that includes training camp, that includes OTAs and mini camp. So I'm a big advocate for making sure that guys get those reps. I think without the mentality of me, practicing every single day and really being locked in every single day, without that over the course of my career, I don't know if I'm the same player, just because I learned from every single one of those reps being out there, and I learned from watching other guys run routes and block and do other things in the off season. So I think I think there can be a balance of it all, but I do at the end of the day feel that there's a lot of guys out here that need those reps to become great, and limiting those reps for guys just for the sake of whatever it is, I think isn't very beneficial to the league in general. Now, whether that's cutting back on preseason games or making sure that they're there for the young guys to get film and get those reps, I'm all for it. But I do believe that training camp, the off season, OTAs, getting in this building and working on your craft is something that's needed.
That's all. Thank you, Travis.
Have a good one, guys.
You, Mecole, Demarcus and Robinson, you guys are all from kind of Georgia. Does that help you guys bond together as a unit at all, sharing experiences from your past? And is there something in that Southern comfort food that produces great wide receivers?
Well, look, yeah, I'm gonna say yes, and then I'm gonna say no, man, because we all know the real part of Georgia is the southern part of Georgia, and that is where I'm from, Pearson, Georgia, Coffee County, Valdosta, all down there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Like we always have, talks, about, growing up in Georgia, us just being wild back in the day.
And then you were also a state champion when it came to track, and you were breaking records. You ever think about those days when you're sprinting down the field, scoring 71-yard touchdowns?
Oh yeah, man, all the time, man. Well, it's crazy. Like, I actually wonder, do that record still hold in Georgia? Like I'm always wondering that. So hopefully it does.
All right, let's go next to Diana Rossini. Go ahead, Diana.
All right, Ty, I got two quick ones for you.
Okay.
Obviously, we all have been watching the film from week 12, and it's obvious they were playing man on you, and that didn't work so well with you. So what are you expecting to see from them in terms of coverage?
No, to be honest, I don't even know, man. I just go out there and I just play and I just have fun. Hopefully, what I'm hoping for is just a one-on-one matchup the whole game. But, I probably won't get that. But whatever I get, I'll just be happy, just to be playing in the game, So that's just how I approach it. Just trying to get the win.
Also, I feel like we've asked you every question under the sun this week, and you've been great answering them. Is there anything you're surprised we haven't asked you about in terms of this game? Is there anything you guys have been like, how are they not asking us about this?
Nah. You know what? The one question I am tired of though is, are you faster than Scotty Miller? I feel like I hear that so much. Like it's crazy. Like even the guys in the locker room are like asking me that. I'm like, bro, are you like a reporter or something?
What's the answer?
I don't know. I'm not in that. I'm not getting into that one.
All right, let's go to Patrick Finley. Go ahead, Patrick.
Tyreek, if you guys can win on Sunday, would you think of yourselves as a dynasty in the making? When you look back, you guys are really one play away from being in the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. And if so, what role does the drafting of Patrick have in just setting this whole thing up?
Well, the drafting of Pat was huge. Obviously, we all loved Alex Smith. He was a great player. He was a great role model, and a great leader for this team. But things change, years change, environments change, coaches change, and just, drafting Pat was the right thing, just for like the dynamic of this team. You got speed guys on this team. You got Kelce, probably is going to go down as one of the best tight end, if not the best tight end of all time. So things like that, man. So just drafting Pat, man, just like really helped us all. He really elevated our game a lot. So yeah.
And dynasty wise, do you feel like you're part of, like you may be part of one here pretty soon?
I don't know, man. You gotta wait and see. I'm not in that. I'm just a player. I'm not getting into that today.
All right, let's go to Emmanuel Morgan. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Tyreek. The Chargers played out pretty competitively that first game. What were they doing pretty well, especially with them being able to get pressure with 4 people?
You must be a Chargers reporter because you came straight in here to ask about the Chargers. Let's see. I don't know, bro. they're just a good team. Yeah, I feel like every team that we play is going to try to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because we are the defending Super Bowl champions, so we're going to get people playing their heart out, each and every game, people trying to make, what I'm saying, I wouldn't say a name for themselves, but they just trying to say, hey, here we go. Like, we are the team that beat the Chiefs.
Clear from WTKR TV.
Happy Super Bowl week to you, Derrick.
Thank you.
You're so close with your family, and they've been such a great support system for you. But due to the pandemic, they haven't been able to see you play in person this year. While obviously you're not going to really get to interact with them in Tampa, just knowing that you're going to have a six-pack of Nnadis there in the stands rooting for you, what's that going to do to you, and how fired up are you for that?
Oh man, it has been different. Not knowing that my family has been there, because they normally travel. That's another thing I kind of don't like. My parents will drive here from Virginia to KC, and that's about 16 hours. And just I hate that they do it, but I love that they come to visit anyways, just to see me play. That with them not being able to come, it did hurt me a little bit, but I wanted to make sure they were safe because of this pandemic and all. I had to tell my parents, like, after the game, like, you're not gonna be able to see me. The only way you're really gonna see me is after the game. So that's more motivation. I want to be able to see my parents on the field when the game's over.
We'll go next to Scott Cash.
Derrick, also WVEC in Norfolk. What's it mean to you to be representing the 757 back in the big stage yet again?
For me personally, I just want to be that type of guy that in that kind of discussion, like, man, who's one of those great players that from my area? A lot of times you say AI, a lot of times you say Michael Vick, and a bunch of other players. I kind of want to be in that category because I feel like I've really put a lot of time and effort to try to get myself in this position. Besides from football and the community work, because I try to do anything in my power to help out anybody who needs help. And I feel like I do the same thing on the football field of just doing my job, honestly. Being just someone from my area, from the 757, a lot of people don't really, they don't really make it out to do anything prosperous in their life because there's a lot of obstacles that people got to go through, just like in any other area. But it's kind of seems a little more difficult in there. And I just want to give people that are in that whole area in Virginia just someone to look up to, whether it's me, whether it's someone else from our area, just somebody to give them hope. That's what everybody really needs. They need hope, just someone to motivate them, someone to give them hope, saying, if he can do it, why not me?
Next, we'll go to Christopher Heidel from Herb FM.
Hey, Derrick, thanks for taking my question. We cover the ACC a lot, and we're some big Seminole fans up here in Baltimore. Just talk about playing your days in Florida State, and what's it like playing with Jimbo Fisher?
Honestly, Jimbo is a good coach. I really respect him. Like, he always wanted the best out of players. He's gonna push and push and push because that's just how he loves our players. He wants the best out of everybody. And honestly, I didn't really have that many times to talk to one-on-one, besides like in my junior and senior year. But even just being around him, I can tell what type of mentality he wanted out of his players, what he wanted, what things he just wanted out of his players, whether on the field or off the field, because he's cared about both sides of the spectrum. And just playing for him, you knew he was ready to fight for you, so you knew he was gonna fight for him.
About taking him down. He shared like all this insight about Brady's shoulders and this like shimmy he does. He's like, you got to ask Chris about it. Ask him about it. So I wanted to ask you about it. You're watching this guy on tape. You played him before. Explain what this is. This unique talent.
Listen, Tom Brady doesn't have the best feet, but those shoulders are ridiculous. It's hard to get to him because he moves his shoulder in ways. It's like when you're skating and you know how your body is moving different ways. He can move his shoulders like that. And I actually got broken off by Tom Brady his last year in New England. I was going to make a sack, and he dipped his right shoulder and got out of the sack. Tom Brady is slithery with those shoulders. He's dangerous. That's why it's so hard to get to him. He don't really take big hits. If he see you coming, he'll go down, but if you don't have a good hit on him, he'll dip those shoulders like no other. He's dangerous with those shoulders. He's very dangerous. His pocket awareness is up there.
Okay, next up, we're going to go to Len Jennings.
Hey, Chris, hope you're doing well. Talking to Spags the other day, we found out that his wife has been unable to cook for you guys this year. And I know how big a deal that was with the meatballs and the banana pudding. And how much have you missed that this season that she hasn't been able to cook for you guys?
What a coincidence. I actually asked Spags about the meatballs today. You know, me and him, I had to pull him to the side and have a one-on-one heart-to-heart with him. You know, I was telling him I haven't asked you all year to, you know, for your wife to prepare meatballs under the circumstances. But, you know, with this being a huge game, and last year meatballs were prepared before the Super Bowl. It's something I was expecting. I'm very superstitious, and she made them last year. I was looking forward to them this year, and he told her it's okay. And I was telling him, what about the motto that we live by? Team first, team last, and team always. And, you know, that's a part of the team ritual, you know. So I got to do a little more convincing, hoping his wife can open up and have enough time just to, you know, prepare me a single made of meatballs.
Next up, we're going to go to Cherie Cruz.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for that story. You had me laughing over here with the meatball. Wanted to get your thoughts first on how that whole team first, team second, team last mentalities played into a COVID season and how that's got you guys to this point being so connected. And then second, has Mahomes talked to you about preparing for a baby, and would you babysit his daughter to be?
Well, listen, I'm not good with babies. I'm good with kids. Like my kids are 3-year-old and 5-year-old, and they get excited when they see a baby coming around. I don't know if Pat want me to babysit his child at that young of an age. My kids are adventurous. And they would try to feed the baby. They would have that baby eating Sour Punch straws and all type of stuff that the baby doesn't need at that age. So, you know, I wouldn't mind if him and Brittany want me to, but I don't think they want to move that fast, you know. And I don't know if they want to move that fast. Me and him, I had a talk with him about it and congratulating him on the big accomplishment, you know. And, you know, I started a little early for having the kids. You know, I wanted to be a young father. And, you know, the best of luck, Pat, the best of luck to him and Brittany on their newborn. What was the other part? I forgot the other part of the question. I'm sorry. I was just so flattered by the babysitting thing.
It was, I'll speak. It was the team first, team last, team always. How has that played into this COVID season?
The team first, team last, and team always was a huge part of this year because with all the circumstances that's going on, especially with COVID, I mean, if you follow the team rules, which would be putting the team first and following the rules, then, you know, and we can overcome this as a team, you know, and that goes by the team first, team last, and team always mentality. You know, think about your decisions. Think about how would you affect the team within your decisions that you make outside of the facility. And that kind of was echoed throughout the building on the decisions we made to keep guys protected and keep people, families safe.
Hello.
To ask Nick a question, just use the raise hand function.
A lot more paying to attention and really accurate in practice. Not just him, but have you seen that at the whole team? Do you feel that the attention level has just been at a 10 this week with 2 weeks to prepare, being at your facility for such a big game? How do you feel the team has just really got on their P's and Q's?
I think everyone's dialed in. I honestly do. I think from the scout team, from, you know, the special team guys, I think everyone is dialed in and focused on the task at hand. You know, my coach actually praised the scout team today. I actually got a little offended by that. I told them praise them after we win the Super Bowl. Don't praise them right now. Don't let them know they're doing good right now. We don't need no pats on the back, but I think everyone is dialed in and locked in and focused on the task at hand.
At the Division I level, it was always my dream to be in this spot since I was a little kid. But just getting older at Iowa, it was kind of just a one day at a time approach. And whenever I got the opportunity, I took it and ran with it. I'm an undrafted free agent, so it's not like I was super high up on a lot of these draft boards. So it was kind of just taking the approach that I need to prove myself every day.
Okay, we're just waiting for another question to come in. If anyone has any more questions for Ben, feel free to use that raise hand function.
And USF, I came out clean. I don't even think I missed a practice in the 5 years there. So when that happened in Cleveland, that was tough for me because I've never had like a serious injury before, and I knew nothing about knees and what the rehab was. So there was a moment in time where I was like, potentially this was the last time that I'd play football. I didn't know if guys come back from ACL injuries. I kind of thought from I kind of had a glimpse in my head, I think, of Boobie Miles there from Friday Night Lights, and they kind of calmed me down a little bit with that. But that was just a grind coming back from that. Fortunately, I had a great medical staff there in Cleveland that took care of me, got me back to where I needed to be, and I've got a full head of confidence with that knee now.
Next
I don't
question.
know if going back, I don't know if I would tell myself to do anything different. I kind of joke and say, would you have, if someone told you what your path would be 5-6 years ago, I probably wouldn't believe them, but I wouldn't change anything.
Next question will come from Chris Torello of Bay News 9.
There we go, Tampa.
Yeah, there you go. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. So just with that USF theme, I was talking to JPP about it. You guys were there at different times, right? Right before, I think the last season you were there didn't go great, but then they go to the Beach Bowl the next year. So just kind of being part of that, bringing it back a little bit to where the standard is for USF. What was that like? And also, do you keep in touch with some of your older lineman guys? Like Thor's coaching Clearwater High now. I didn't know if you knew that. So
I did. Me and JPP were like two trains passing in the night. I graduated high school in December, and I came to USF in January, like January 8th or 9th, I think was my first day. Kind of crazy. I committed with Jim Leavitt, and I think that was his last game, the International Bowl, and I think that was JPP's last game. So, right there, as soon as he was out, I was in. And, 4 days later, I think for me there, they fired Leavitt and hired Skip. But I definitely keep in touch with some of those O-line guys. I did talk to Thor about the Clearwater High School. I still communicate with some of those guys. I think the only person I know on staff there would be Jeremy Lees with the equipment, and Steve Walls. I don't think he's the head trainer anymore. I think he went to a more administrative position, but I think Yuri's the head guy now. Don't quote me on that.
Next question will come from Joshua Allen of the Bucks Report.
Hey, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just obviously Vita Vea didn't play in this Week 12 matchup. Looking at the tape, what problems does he present to you and the rest of the offensive line?
This is an extremely talented front line. Him in particular, big guy, strong guy, limited snaps, I think, with the Green Bay game, getting him back. I look across the board. These are strong guys, kind of reminded me of last year with San Fran, all these first round picks on the defensive line. We got our work cut out for us. There's no doubt about that. But, we got 5 guys, and, most D-lines have 4 when they play the game. So, teamwork makes the dream work there.
Next question will come from Jason Dill of Bradenton Herald.
Hey, Austin. Wanted to know, you grew up here in Bradenton, and Manatee County is known for, its football talent, right? So you're one of several guys that have gone to the Super Bowl. This is going to be your second time there. What's it like for you being a kid that played his high school football here in Bradenton and being part of that history of a small area that's able to develop some NFL talent that's actually played in the Super Bowl. And now you're playing in your second game. I think only Henry Lawrence is the only other guy that's ever done that. So what does that really say about the area, and what do you think about it all?
That's super cool to hear. It's great. I when I get the chance to go back there, I'll stop by the high school. I like watching high school football practices, and I think it promotes the dream. All these kids on these high school teams, these young impressionable kids. I think I don't think I was in high school thinking I was going to play in 2 Super Bowls. But if I can instill that dream and these Manatee County kids playing football, I think that's awesome. I think that's the best way to describe it. You give that light, that hope for any of those kids. So very cool to hear that though.
Babysit at some point if you're asked.
No, indeed. I'm not really good with kids. A lot of times I try to play with kids, they just look at me crazy. So, I'm gonna just stick to babysitting my dogs. I got 2 dogs, and I look at those as my kids. So, I'm not ready for any babies yet. Sorry, Pat. Really? I'm pretty sure they have a nanny or something like that. We good?
Yep. All right, Charvarius. We are good.
Appreciate it, man.
Out of hands. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
There's a follow-up question. Not many teams use a fullback, but obviously the Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years with one. What does your position bring to the Chiefs?
I don't know if it's the fullback position or, for me, that it's just trying to be able to do multiple things for this team to help us win. And my title is a fullback, but I kind of try to do as much as I can. And what was your first question?
With the rejig that's gone on the offensive line with Eric Fisher out injured, how will that affect the timing of the offense?
No, all those guys have played at this level. Not necessarily the Super Bowl, but have played on the team and have played in games this year. So I think the timing is the timing, and I think they'll fight and get their job done the best that they can, and Pat will get it out.
And let's go next to Santiago.
Thanks. Mr. Sherman, you have been in the Chiefs for 8 years. You were before in Cardinals. How do you think that when you arrived and now have changed your career?
Well, I think Coach Reid and Coach Bieniemy and the staff that he has here that have, allowed me to succeed is just letting me play football and doing the things that I love to do. And the more that you can do, like I said earlier, it is beneficial to this team. So I think it's one of those things where if maybe I wasn't on the Chiefs, I don't know how long I would be playing football for, but I was, and it's a blessing to be here, and I'm excited.
And also, if you guys win this Super Bowl, what does it say about this offense being perhaps the best ever?
Well, my role on the team, man, is just make sure all the guys are hydrated when they come back to the bench, man, because Patrick, he does a great job, and making great throws, So when he comes to the sideline, him, Kelce, and the offensive line, I just bring those guys water, and then just make sure to encourage those guys and just give those guys, the energy, So that's kind of my role. And what was the second question?
If you guys win on Sunday, how does it go towards cementing you guys as one of the great offenses ever?
Oh, it doesn't cement us anywhere. I feel like that's our mindset. Like, all of us are still young, so we have a lot of football to play. When that time comes, that's when we'll think about that. But until then, we're going to continue to chase these records, chase these rings, and chase these dreams. You know what I mean? We'll be back after this commercial.
And in your role as water boy, which athlete needs the most consumption? Is it Kelce? Is it Patrick Mahomes? Do you have to give him multiple cups? How does that work?
It's definitely Patrick, because the way that he talks, like, he's always like Patrick's voice sounds like it's cracking, so he needs water to quench that crack. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he needs water to quench that crackiness in his voice. So when he drinks water, he's back to talking clean to get the plays out. You know what I'm saying? So Patrick.
Thanks.
All right, we have time for a few more. We're gonna go next to Karita Parks. Go ahead, Karita.
Hey, Tyreek, Karita Parks with Double Take Sports. As someone who's been with the Chiefs for a while, you were drafted by them. What would you say has factored into the evolution of this team into back-to-back Super Bowl contenders?
Patrick Mahomes, baby. It's only one thing to say. Patrick Mahomes. He didn't, he the one that brought change to this team. Obviously, Coach Reid, Veach, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes. He won Coach Reid's first Super Bowl. Just Pat, man. He the one that changed everything. So yeah.
All right, let's go to James Hill. Go ahead, James.
That's my cousin right here. What's up, cousin?
Hey, how's it going, family? Got a question. The Super Bowl, talk about using this as a business trip, going back and earning another W and collecting a ring.
Yeah, man. This is definitely a business trip, like you said. Hopefully we can go down and we can take care of business. So that's what we're looking forward to. So that's why every day we come into work, we work hard, practice hard, play fast, and we do all of that.
What do you do between now and kickoff? Talk about the tunnel vision and just getting it done and focusing.
Man, I'm about to go home and play Fortnite. That's the only tunnel vision that I got. So yeah, some Warzone with Dieter. Yeah, man. This is another game week, man.
All right, we've got time for one more here. We're gonna go to Adam Barton to close it out. Go ahead, Adam.
Give me a good one. Give me a good one.
Hi, Tyreek. After your big game against the Bucs earlier this season, do you expect to see a lot of double coverage? And also, obviously, it's all about getting the win. But do you have any personal goals for the game as well?
Right now, I don't know what coverage they're gonna play. I mean, I've been watching a lot of film, so I mean, we really don't know, because it's kind of tough right now. And as far as personal goals, man, I just want to win the game. That's the way I've been taught, as a kid. I signed up to play football to win games. If the stats and the records come, it'll just come, so that's it, man.
All right, Tyreek, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Oh, I got one more thing to say, man. Last night I tweeted something from a Bible's verse, Romans 16 through 18. This Bible verse really spoke to me last night while I was doing Bible study with my girl. It says, present sufferings with the hope of future glory. Man, let that sink in your heart, man, before you guys go to sleep tonight or just go do what you got to do, man. The Cheetah is out, man, live in the flesh. Make sure you guys check out my YouTube. Tyreek Hill, subs going crazy. We finna hit a milli. Cheetah is out, man. Oh, one more thing, though. See the gold chain? It's fake. I'm out.
Hey, Chris, what's happening, man?
Steve, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, I know last year you, Tyron, and Frank talked about T. Sizzle, Terrell Suggs bringing in, the championship swagger, so to speak, for you guys that hadn't been to a Super Bowl before. Now that you have one, what are you telling young guys like Snead that haven't been in this position?
Have fun. Most importantly, have fun. Don't let the moment be too big for you. Treat it just like a regular game. The only thing about this game is if you lose, it's gonna sit with you a long time. But we didn't come this far to lose. But have fun. Most importantly, don't let the moment get too big for you, and enjoy it. Embrace the moment, because there's not a lot of time, a lot of teams that can make it to this moment. You still got teams that it's been a decade since they've been here. So for us to be here is be very fortunate of it. Enjoy it, embrace it. But understand, when we on that field, we got to perform.
All right, Chris, thank you for your time, and thank you everyone who joined today.
Guys, thank you. It was amazing. Go Chiefs.